Hello everybody. This is a short video that goes over what we did in class today, that is the supply and demand with a quota. And I'm sorry to report that we did not win the Nobel Prize. Too bad. I'd already thought of several ways to spend the money. Instead, we had a small error in the market supply curve. And it's really subtle, so I thought I would generate this short PowerPoint to help you see and to practice. Okay, so first, let's assume that there are three producers, just like in class today, and let's call them domestic 1, domestic 2, and foreign. And then here are the supply curves. They should already be in your notes. The domestic 1 supply curve is just QS is equal to 0.5p minus 5, and the second one, domestic 2, is just QS2 equals p minus 10, and then the foreign supply curve is QS foreign equals 2p minus 20. Okay, so these are just like in class today. Now let's let the domestic demand curve, let's let the domestic demand curve be 500 minus 1.5p. Then the market supply curve without a quota is just the horizontal summation of the individual quantity supplied. And this is its total. It will be 3.5p minus 15. And the way we got that is we just added up the individual quantity supplied, and I've gone ahead and written them out here for you so you can see this is the first supply curve, this is the second one, and this is the third one. Now if you apply a quota on farm production, and let's go ahead and let the quota be 100 units like it was in class today, then the market supply curve before the quota is the same as it was before, but the market supply curve after the quota is a bit tricky. And where we messed up in class today is we just dropped off the foreign producer. We generated a market supply curve without the foreign producer, and that's not what really happens. What really happens is that the foreign producer's output is stuck at 100. So remember, the foreign producer does not disappear. Instead, the foreign output is stuck at 100 units. So the market supply curve after a quota is reached would be like this: QS1 plus QS2 plus 100. And what we did in class today is we just left this off. And that's why it looked like that the intercept stayed the same as before and the thing jumped up. So what really happens is the market supply curve after the quota would be 0.5p minus 5, that was the first one, plus p minus 10, that was quantity supplied 2, plus 100. Or if you work it out, that works out to be 1.5p plus 85. Now I've generated this in Excel so that you could see. Hope you can see this. So here's the original domestic producer, and if you can see what I've done is just 0.5 times whatever the price is minus 5. That was their equation. If you copy this down, let's just go down to here. There's our supply curve for the first firm, and then for the second firm has the same intercept, right, but it's a little flatter, and the foreign firm had the same intercept again, but even flatter still. And then the market supply curve before the quota, or when there's no quota, would look like that, right? Then there was a market demand curve. We'll do that in a minute. Now the market supply curve without the quota, remember, is going to look exactly like this original one, except when we get to output of 100. So checking down here to the foreign firm, we get down to output 100 is right here. So then the market supply curve after the quota is going to be whatever the first firm produces plus whatever the second firm produces plus 100, because the foreign firm is stuck at 100. And then you can just copy that down, and you see that we have this supply curve that looks like that. So what we did in class today was we did it incorrectly. That is, we just dropped this firm off, and it looked like this. Let me back this out a minute and show you what we did in class. What we did in class is we just said, well, it's just whatever the first firm is plus whatever the second firm is. We did something like this. See, and there's a discontinuous function that Adam saw. So again, it should be this plus 100, because the foreign firm has a quota, it's producing at 100 units, and then if you just copy this down, you can see, looks like that. You can put the market demand curve on here if you want, not really necessary, but I did it anyway. You get the market demand curve, looks like that. Let me get my image out of here. And you can see this is the equilibrium that occurs if there's no quota, and here's the equilibrium if there is a quota. Okay, where'd I go? There I am. Okay, so I hope you find this helpful, and if not, ask me about it in class. Good luck.